this has been on my heart for a long time. I have been on and off diets probably since I was maybe 12-ish, maybe 11. That's when I first noticed that I was a little different than everyone else in my class. I noticed that I was, you know, the chubby one. So I'm going to take this next 6 weeks to finally commit to something. Because in the past, I have always said, okay, I'm gung-ho on this and I'll do really well for like a week, and then Saturday hits and then I like binge eat. And I, you know, have struggled throughout my adolescence and even into adulthood with binge eating and bulimia. I'm just gonna put that out there, where I literally would sit and just eat a bunch of food and then just throw it up. So I really want to document this process with you guys, because I feel like if I'm documenting everything, then it's going to keep me accountable. And I think that I finally found why diets don't work. And it's because I'm not focusing on the underlying reason why I'm eating or overeating or whatever it is. Like, I think I use food as comfort. So I'm taking this 6 weeks. I'm actually starting a new Bible study as well with my church. So I thought, okay, you know what? This would be the perfect time for me to really put my faith to the test, really let God kind of guide my way through this. And I have the tools. I know what I need to do. I know I need to eat right. I know I need to exercise. I know everything that I need to do. So we are just going to just put it all out there. So I'm gonna give you guys may be thinking, oh, Gina, you look fine. I get that all the time. But for me and my own skin, this is not fine for me. Experts of the internet, you can go ahead and exit out right now. So this is my body in its current state right now. I have a lot of extra belly fat right here. I have a lot going on in here. I have a very, you know, this is just what I'm at right now. This is day one. Like, I literally look like I'm probably, you know, a few months pregnant. Like, I look pregnant right now and I'm not pregnant, and my body should not be looking like this at 32. Like, yes. Okay. So we're going to hop on the scale and see what we're working with. So we're looking at 179. So I put on a little bit throughout the day. So we're starting at a whopping 179 pounds. And we are going to do some measurements. So I want to do these measurements with you guys, because I'm going to check in every single Sunday and see where I'm at. So Sunday is going to be my weigh-in day. So we're looking at 36.5 right up at the bust area. And then we're gonna just do the natural waist of 34. Looks like 34 is what my waist is right now. And then we're looking at 39.5 right there. And then we're gonna get to, looks like 44.5 right there. And then I also want to measure the biggest part of my thigh, which is 25. And then we'll just go ahead and do the measurement of my arm, which is the biggest part of my arm, 12.5. So these are my measurements. I'm gonna put my clothes back on because, you know, it's not that kind of channel. So let me put my clothes back on. Okay, so the hardest part, honestly, I think, is checking in to see what you actually weigh on the scale. So I think that is definitely the hardest part. So the hardest part is definitely getting on the scale. So we have the number, we know where we're at, and you know, we are finally going to do this. I need to look at a calendar for November. Let's just go together, okay? We're just gonna go together. So I'm gonna be posting these every single week, track this once a week for 6 weeks. So we are at the 6th right now. Okay, so this is my calendar right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So my challenge is going to end on November 17th. Challenge end. Okay, so it's there. So I'm going to take you guys along on this week. I absolutely love how Nicole Burgess does her weekly vlogs, and I feel like this is just something I need to do. So a part of what I mentioned to you guys of starting a Bible study is I need, during this study that I'm doing, which I'll actually share it with you guys if you want to, you know, pick up the book and then, you know, maybe do this with me as well. It is called Christians at Our Best. So it's a 6-week guide to living in the age of outrage. So I am doing this, and I thought that I definitely need to fast something during this like challenge. I need to fast something that I love, something that like I get on a daily basis. And honestly, you guys, that is Starbucks. So I already know I'll be at the Coffee Bean with my small group on Tuesday. So I'm already fitting that in, but I get a daily Starbucks every single day. And if I don't have it, I notice that my mood changes, and like I'm like someone who has to have it. So I've said this so many times about getting rid of Starbucks, and today is the 6th of October, and I am so tired of Starbucks taking all of my money and for Starbucks making me feel like I have to have their beverage. So there's something wrong there. And I feel like in order for God to really speak to me during this study I'm in, I need to fast. So I am fasting my Starbucks. I'm gonna save $3.95 a day, which is a lot of money that could be in my pocket for holiday shopping. So today is October 6th. So I am not going to put the stress on myself to check in with you guys every single day. I'm just gonna check in with you guys when I feel like I need to. So I don't wanna put that like commitment on needing to be, you know, updating you guys every single day, but I'm definitely going to share, you know, what I'm eating, how I'm exercising, and all of that. So that's what we're doing. All right, you guys, so I am checking in with you guys. So I actually went to my doctor today, just for some stuff, and I had a very serious conversation with my gynecologist, and I'm very open at the doctor's office. And I had gestational diabetes with my pregnancy with Tanner, and I was asking her straight up, like, what are the chances that I'm gonna get it? And she said, well, 50-50. And she said, there's a little less likely if you lose some weight. And I was like, how much are we talking? And then like we looked on like the charts, the numbers, like I sat with my doctor and said, what do I need to do? How much weight do you want me to lose as my physician? And she said that she wants me to be around 140, and I'm currently 178. So I have some weight to lose. And I know some people like don't like the BMI scale and whatnot, but honestly, the BMI scale is what the doctors go off of for like the likelihoods of things happening to you. So, I need to lose some weight. Like I have some weight to lose. But even aside from like just wondering if I want to get pregnant again, like now I'm not even going to think about getting pregnant until I like lose the weight. And even so, even if I don't want to get pregnant, since I have had gestational diabetes, I am at a 50-50 chance of developing diabetes in my future. So pregnancy or not. So, but type 2 diabetes is preventable through diet and exercise. So I told her, I confessed, I said I have a Starbucks today with a bunch of heavy cream. I told her about my PF Chang Saturdays with PF Chang's and ice cream and all of that. And she said, you know, it's okay to treat yourself like a few times, but you know, every single Saturday, if that's what you're sitting and eating, it's not gonna do it. So I gotta buck up, gotta get serious, because you know, my goal is to try to live as long as possible. That's my goal, is to try to live as long as I can here on earth. So sometimes you need to really hear the facts straight up and not have it sugar coated like, oh, but you don't look, like I get that all the time. Oh, you don't look 178 pounds. Like you look good. but I'm still unhealthy. I'm still overweight. It still puts me at all of these risks of things happening. So we just got to do it. All right, so for breakfast, I've been having coffee with 2 tablespoons of heavy cream with some Jordan syrup, eggs, and sausage, or I will switch it up and do some Too Good yogurt with almonds and pumpkin pie spice from Trader Joe's. Now for lunch, I've been doing pastrami wraps. So I have a 3 net carb tortilla with pastrami, cheese, and pickles. And then I also, for dinners, I was making some turkey sausage meat over broccoli and cauliflower. So then I also made a crock pot full of this, I called it like a turkey meatball soup. So I used ground turkey, also chicken broth, some onions, tomatoes, and some fennel. And I would top it with sour cream and Parmesan cheese, and it was so good. Now for my evening treats, I would have a few pieces of Lily's chocolate or Smart Sweets. And Smart Sweets are now in your local Target. So definitely check out your local Target for some Smart Sweets.
175.6. The waist, we are at, wow, 31. 31 and 37. 44. 24 and let's see, 12.
All right, so we are ending the first week of me being back on my plan. So the most prominent side effect I've had getting back on the low carb lifestyle would probably be my keto breath rate.
I got no comment.
Like, well, you've been able to tell if I've been on keto or not. So do you want to just take a woof just to, does it smell keto? Do I smell like I'm in ketosis?
Your breath smells wonderful, babe.
No, for the viewers, the honesty. Does it smell keto?
I mean, it smells something fierce.
Okay. So a little trick I learned is getting some Young Living peppermint oil. And this will like zap the stink away. And all you need to do with your essential oil, which I have linked below, is go like that. And it just bangs your mouth with peppermint. Watch. It's better. Is it better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Better than it was, right?
Yeah.
All right, so on a more serious note, Chris is sitting here with me because not only are we going to be documenting my progress in losing the weight that my doctor told me to lose, we're also documenting the fact that I recently have opened up to him about a struggle that I've had since I was about 15 years old. 14, 15, I don't exactly remember.
And sorry to break your train of thought, but am I supposed to look into the camera or the screen?
Right here, the
camera
lens. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I recently opened up to him about something that was very prominent in my life. And, I'm just going to come out and say it, like, I have an eating problem. I have an addiction to food. And for the past 15 years, I have binge and purged probably at least once a week for 15 years, something like that. So not only are we documenting my weight loss journey, we're also going to be adding in my recovery journey as well. So, I know I'm not alone with this with you guys, and I was unsure if I was even going to open up about this because it's definitely something that is, shameful on my part. I feel embarrassed about it. I feel guilty about it. And it's not really something you tell someone the first time you met them, like, hey, my name's Gina. I love to coupon, but I also love to eat boxes of donuts and then throw it up. Like, that's not really something that you let people know. So, and I know I'm not the only one because 30 million people, men and women of all ages, suffer from some sort of eating disorder. And worldwide, we're talking 70 million people. So I know I am not the only one. So I got the stats right here. I wrote them down for you guys. So I know that I cannot be the only one watching this video that is the only one struggling with this. I know someone here watching likely is going through the same thing as me. And Chris was the one who encouraged me to open up to the family. Chris is the one who's encouraging me to open up to the audience. And don't worry about this wet stain. I'm not lactating. This is just my hair. I mean, it's just kind of out there. So no, this is not breast milk.
Although we have no problem if it was breast milk.
No, but it's not breast milk. So we're just going to be taking you guys along on this journey because honestly, the addiction I have with food is similar to the addiction that someone may have with, alcohol or any other type of drug or pornography or overspending, spending a lot of money, which I have an addiction with as well. If you guys want to see how I got into $20,000 of credit card debt, I'll have that video linked below, and how I've been trying to get myself out of it. That might be for another video. Let's start with this one first. I'm a very addictive person, and it's in my blood. I'm diagnosed bipolar. I take antidepressants. That's why when I'm sitting here and telling you guys something as serious as this, like, you would think that I would be crying and in tears, but I just can't get that out of me right now because I am currently on antidepressants. So it's really hard for me to like show that emotion. But just because I'm not showing that emotion on the outside doesn't mean that I'm not feeling that on the inside. So we've come up with a plan to, get through this together. And we thought that we would take you guys along on the journey here. I will be starting Celebrate Recovery at our church. And they have a 12-step program for what I'm dealing with. And the program is going to take at least a year. So, but honestly, I'm never going to be cured from this. I'm always going to struggle with this. Anyone who has ever had an addiction knows that it's like a lifelong thing. You are in remission the rest of your life. And I'm sure I'm going to, struggle. I'm sure my hope is I don't fall off the wagon. But I thought it's just really important to share this with you guys. So, you'll see some changes in my videos. We're not going to be doing any mukbang videos. We're not going to be doing any more let's go through the drive-through and order what's in front.
What's a mukbang video? Basically,
you sit and eat and talk to the camera. Apparently, they're really big in Asia because they feel like they're like eating with their audience. I don't know. But, and also you guys won't be seeing, after clearance hauls for like different seasonal stuff, because those are huge triggers for me in terms of, getting all the treats like for like 10 cents and all that stuff. So
she probably won't be working with any donut sponsors.
No. So that's where we're at. So if you are someone who's dealing with something, if you're someone who's dealing with an addiction, hopefully my video here inspires you guys to kind of take control of it and know that you can't do it alone. And even if you don't have someone like Chris in your corner, just know that the Lord loves you and he is always in your corner, even if you don't have someone physical, sitting next to you. And if you are, a member of one of our families watching this, if you're one of my, physical friends in real life, I love you guys, my audience. You guys are all amazing internet friends. But if you're one of my, in-person friends that I meet with, just things just need to change. Like, you don't need to make it weird between us. It doesn't need to get awkward. Just some things,
I think it already gets awkward with you sometimes.
Well, I'm a very awkward person. So, so if you're, a friend or family watching this and you see me in the physical form, in our lives, just have a more watchful eye with me, follow me to the bathroom. I am not going to be offended by that. So Brittany, Tiffany, if you're watching and, we go out to eat, follow me to the bathroom. Like, don't let me go to the bathroom by myself. Chris is trusting that my close friends are going to keep a watchful eye on me.
I hope so. And not take you to solving.
Oh God, yeah. Well, no, when we were dating, well, not even dating. This was when he was like first like reaching out to me from,
we went on one date, I think.
We went on one date and then I told him I was going to Solvang, but I was really drunk off my ASS in Vegas. Like, oh my God, I don't even think I've ever been that drunk in my life, to the point to where I practically blacked out and I was vomiting, not because I was purging.
That was the goblet, right?
I went to the sugar factory, and drank a lot. And then, I told him I wasn't feeling well, and he's like, oh, you got the flu? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm in Solvang, I got the flu. Years later, it was, oh no, I was in Vegas drunk. So, but we're not going to go too much. I'm not going to go more into further detail of anything else because I don't want this video to be a trigger to someone. So just know that, you know, we'll just be checking in. I have a 12-step program that I'll be starting. And
one of the things that Pastor Rick, pastor at our church, talks about is you don't want to waste a hurt and you don't want to waste pain, and God wants to make, you know, good out of anything. You know, bad things happen, and, you know, a lot of it is because of free will and choices. You know, God's not the author of bad things, but, you know, God will definitely try and make good out of bad that does happen. So we're hoping that by Gina making these videos that it encourages people to, you know, seek and get help. Because ultimately, you know, any form of addiction, the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem, getting help. So ultimately, I'm just hoping that with Gina kind of chronicling the her journey in terms of recovery and celebrating recovery, that it maybe encourages somebody out there who's going through a similar problem, not just with the eating disorder, but could be any form of addiction, like we mentioned. That there is help out there, that there are people out there that do love you and are willing to help you, but you know, you can't really help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. You know, you have to take that first step in admitting that there is a problem and seeking help. So, we're hoping that, you know, that would encourage anybody out there who's going through that.
Yeah. So what we're doing right now in the first few weeks, because in order to make something a habit, you know, studies show that 21 days of consistent behaviors creates a habit. So we're currently on day 9. So that's something to celebrate over a week. And
it's the most important period.
It's the most crucial time. So, we're around each other all the time anyways, because he works from home. So now we're really going to be like glued at the hip. But I will say this.
Normally she tells me to get away and not to touch me.
Yeah, I mean, usually that does happen. So I just thought it was really important for me to sit down with you guys, because I get comments all the time saying, oh, you're super mom, you're amazing, you're perfect, everything like that. Like,
no, I'm Mr. Perfect.
When I'm really mad, I'll say, oh, you think you're Mr. Perfect, and then
when she gets mad, she'll remind me about how perfect I am.
That happened on Friday.
For some reason, like you know, we're happy, we're doing well. She doesn't call me Mr. Perfect, but when she gets mad, then she reminds me that I'm perfect. Right. I don't know why.
Right. That happens all the time. So I don't know. Are we going to sit down and talk every week about this? Are we going to sit down and reflect every week and talk about what I'm doing in my program and stuff? I have
time. I don't leave the house.
He leaves the house to go to Chipotle and the movies and Blaze Pizza.
I don't leave the house that often.
Because he picks out his own produce.
Yeah.
Or if I want him to get anything else, but he's not going to be going and getting me treats, and I'm not going to be sitting and eating, P.F. Chang's, which was so terrible because the triggers are everywhere, because P.F. Chang's sent us a 20% off the whole takeout order.
She sent me an email, and I didn't know how to respond to that.
Well, because I didn't put anything in the email because I was pissed at him at that current time. So I just forwarded it to him, and I was just like, I even do the silent treatment in email. So we hope you guys take this announcement well, and hopefully you guys are nice. And if you're not, that's fine.
Yeah, Gina doesn't care if you're mean.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm good.
She's at a point now where haters are going to hate.
Yeah, I mean, at the point now, I mean, I'm sure I've got, a few people that just don't like me, and that's totally fine.
Not even God himself can get everybody to like him.
No.
So Gina Schleppy definitely could.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
So this is definitely going to be a very trying time for our family. So prayers and encouragement are always welcome. And
can I say one more thing? One more thing to encourage people, because this is one of the main reasons why Gina kind of struggled in the first place, because I was actually asking her the other day whether or not, letting the people that are closest to us know of the issue that she's going through. And at first, she wanted to keep it to herself, and she just wanted me to know, and maybe like one or two of her closest friends to know. She didn't want her mom to know. She didn't want my parents to know. But ultimately, I was encouraging her to come out and talk about it because she really shouldn't feel shame. And shame is ultimately the main reason why she was initially wanting to keep it to herself. And, shame only feels shameful if you let it. If, the devil wants to put us on an island where we're by ourselves and we have no support system and we're just all alone. But there's people out there that will help you, and it's only shameful if you let it. And when you're willing to talk about it and not be ashamed of it, then there's the shame isn't going to get to you because you're open and willing to talk about it. So I just want to encourage anybody, if they're feeling shameful about what they're going through, to not be ashamed, because we're all sinners. Like ultimately, like we're all messed up and flawed in one way or another. And the brutal truth is that, the closer you get to somebody, whether it's, friends or spouse or whatever, the closer you get to somebody, the more of their quirks you learn, the more of their flaws you learn. On the outside, you're kind of acquaintances with somebody or, casual friend with somebody. You don't really know them that well. You think like, oh, they're perfect. Like Gina's super mom over here. Like she does all this stuff. But the closer you get to somebody, the more and more you learn how flawed and broken they really are. And so I just encourage you not to get trapped by the shame and not to get trapped by thinking that it's only you and you're messed up and you're such a mess, because you're not alone. Like
no way.
We're all created to help each other. Like we have these flaws because ultimately we're meant to need each other. So I just encourage anybody out there that thinks that they might have an issue to seek help, because there are people out there that do love you and would be willing to help you.
Absolutely. I think this will be good. Well, to be honest, like my life depends on this. So, it just takes one time for, me to have a heart attack and then him come home and find me dead on the floor. Like that's honestly like, I know that's very...
Worst case scenario.
It may seem really dramatic to say that, but that's honestly the truth. Like that's honestly what he could walk into one day, or one of my kids walk into one day. And honestly, I can't do that because my kids need me, my husband needs me, and
your viewers need you.
You guys need me to tell you when to buy cereal and when not to buy cereal.
Who would talk about the deals?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that would talk about the deals.
Yeah, but who would talk about the deals like Gina Schweppe?
Only Gina Schweppe. So I hope you guys found this video encouraging. We'll be checking in every week with you guys. So here's to, a year of seeing this handsome face sitting alongside of me. Aww. So we will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.